Oh, you were going to do it? You do it. No,
I was bringing it.
bring it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate Makes Us Drink.
Got to remember the name of the show.
I do. I'm Brad Dickin with Nest Mortgage Group.
Brian Quinlan here from Daniels Real Estate. And no, you are not mistaken. There's another random person sitting next to me. Sir, tell them who you are.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Marc Huber with Huber Auction and Real Estate Group here in Greenfield, and thank you, gentlemen, for having me here this evening. So,
Is it okay to say here in Greenfield when you're in McCordsville?
well, this is Greenfield address, isn't it?
Nope. We're a mile up from the
Are you?
We're McCordsville.
Okay, well, McCordsville
It's
then.
fighting
So,
words.
We're
I
a
feel.
teeny bit bougie up here.
I'm across the line.
Just up the road, a little bit right down there. It's Greenfield.
Teeny bit bougie.
Yeah, teeny bit bougie. This is the second guy that we've had on the show that really should have been in radio.
For real.
Did you hear that voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you work for an auction company. Do you own the company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you auction?
Oh, you do the
Like, are you the dude on the mic?
I can do that, yeah.
Oh, can you do it like
can you
the
do it
super
like-
fast? Like,
okay, you are selling Real Estate Makes Us Drink, Amazon, Google, Apple, all of the bigs are here, okay? And the starting bid is $135 million.
$135 million.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
That's what we're going for.
100. That's where we want to get to, or that's what we're starting at?
No, that's what we're starting at. We ain't doing it for them people for anything less than that.
Wow. All right. Who give me 135 million? Who give me 140, 140 million, 145, 445 million, 150 million, 160, 170, 70 million, 80, 180 million, 180, 170. How about 175, sir? I know things are a little tight. 180, 190.
I just outbid myself.
Who give me 200 million, 200 million, 190 would have been two.
About-
Well, somebody's got to be in. 190 would have been
All
two.
right, 190.
Sold to Mr. Nickel.
Oh my goodness,
That's fantastic.
man! I tell you,
That's a big increment.
I do a fair amount of PA announcing, but I don't have that right there.
Well,
Wow.
you know.
Is that just something you kind of develop over time?
Yeah.
Do you go to school
actually,
for that?
Yeah, actually you do.
Do you really?
Yeah, to get your auction license, you have to do 90 hours of class, and then you got to pass the state test as well. So, and through all that, they teach you a lot of law and a lot of different things, but part of it is the big calling. So,
I would be like the first day in class would be like, can you say that again?
I did not catch a word you just said. Hey, you know what we have forgotten? What are you drinking, Brad?
Today I am drinking Tequila kosher spirits. It is
Kosher.
Yeah, this
Like
is
a pickle?
No, this is a really cool tequila. It's
The bottle
made.
makes it look green, so
It's,
pickle.
it's made by Greg, who is a
Greg?
professional.
Just Greg?
drummer. Greg Sobel.
Thank you.
Sorry. Greg's been a professional drummer. He's played for some of the biggest acts all the way back from the 80s. And he is Mexican, Jewish. And he wanted a tequila that could be used for all of the celebrations that they do. So if you look at the top, it says L'chaim, and then Salute, right? And then the name Tequila is what they yell a Jewish holiday or Jewish New Year. So when it's the New Year, they say Tequila. So
Okay.
they do L'chaim, Salute, Tequila. Tequila, right? So he wanted to bring out an actual OU certified kosher tequila. And the whole label has all of these wonderful symbolisms, and the tequila is actually really, really good. And Greg is just an amazing guy putting together something awesome. It's a very brand new, very small company that just came out in December of 24, and made a great product with a product with a passion and a purpose behind it, which is really cool.
Nice.
What are you drinking?
Well, Sun King Sunlight Cream Ale, which, of course, we've had our buddy Kevin from Sun King on the show, and he left me a few of those beers, and so that's what we got today. Just had a cool tour at Sun King. And
Amazing.
yeah, that was a good time. Thanks to Kevin for that. We had a decent-sized group. It was a good time. So I'm a huge fan of the Sun King Cream Ale, and here we are.
They're like a pseudo sponsor of the show.
Somewhat, yeah. Like a sponsor with a little asterisk, I think. There
We need
next
to
to
ink
it.
that deal.
we really
need to
should
get that deal inked.
Absolutely. So go and support Sun King. We're big fans.
Very
What did he pour for you? Do you know?
well, I can't remember. Brad, what was this?
I
It's
poured
very
for
good.
you the high proof 47 ABV Siete Leguas brand new product for them. That's a great tequila. And,
Very good.
Yeah, that's a very
Well,
good tequila.
cheers to you, sir. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
coming out here
Cheers,
today.
Mark. Thanks for
Cheers.
doing
All
Yep,
the way
thank
from
you.
Greenfield.
Oh, that's good tequila.
So, Mark, did you always want to be an auctioneer
No, sir.
or own an auction company?
Never probably would have ever thought that I would have made that a career path.
All right. Well, let's go with how long have you been doing this?
I got my actual auction license in 2015.
Okay. So about 10 years.
Yeah, I helped some local auctioneers and things before that. Kind of got my feet wet, and then they were like, "You know, just go to school. You hang around enough." So that's where I went in late 24 or late 14, and got my license in early 15. So
Okay.
What'd you do before that?
we had a trucking and excavating company.
Okay, I thought you were an
Yep.
excavating.
Yep. So we did mostly a lot of trucking, but we did a little bit of excavating and all through the way. So.
And you've done some local county politics as well, right?
Oh, yeah, a little bit of that.
That's
too.
what I
So,
thought.
along the way.
You're hanging out with my friend Brad Armstrong, who's been on the show
Brad
as well.
Armstrong. Hello,
Yeah.
Brad. I'm sure he's watching the
Is
show.
he tuned in tonight, you think?
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, his viewing is kind of up and down.
Buddy. That's fantastic.
Great
my.
joke.
Come for the drinks,
Yep.
stay for the dad jokes.
Right, brother. He's in the garage door business, in case you didn't know.
Yeah,
That's
there
correct.
you go.
So, the trucking company, was that one that you owned or just one you worked
Yeah,
for?
nope. I've been self-employed since about '97.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Which means he and I are both unemployable.
There you go.
yes, you're probably right.
Self-employed since 97
Yeah,
as well.
My wife would agree with that. Yeah.
Does
So-
the trucking company still exist?
No, we actually almost 2 years ago sold our last dump truck and got out and just auctions and real estate's what we do full time. So,
Okay.
So you probably do a lot of estate sales, right?
yeah, we do a fair share of that.
That's
So-
an area of real estate we don't talk enough about.
Yeah. So what happens? My grandma died a long time ago, but grandma dies, has an estate. I don't know what to do. What do I do? What if I'm in that situation?
Well, you can call us or an auction company, and we can come in and give you a lot of advice is one thing. Try to give you some rough values on things and what's worth keeping and what's worth selling and different things. I mean, we can do everything from A to Z. I mean, we do clean outs, we do disposal, we do the auction. We can help even with some repairs with different contractors we work with. And so just a bunch of different things. But yeah, we try to be a one-stop shop, but we go in and try to devise a plan that kind of meets everybody's goals if they have a timeline or things they're trying to achieve. And then, we can do online auctions, live auctions, simulcast auctions where they're live and online at the same time. Just depends on the asset. But most personal property stuff anymore we're doing online.
How do you deal with the sentimental expectations of what something's?
Oh, man, it's
that's,
gotta be so hard.
Like, oh, my grandma gave me this blanket. I think it should sell for $1,000, and you're like, that's not going to sell at all. Like,
There's a blanket and no one knew your grandmother, so they're not going to pay $1,000.
How do you deal with those things in a way that doesn't destroy the person you're talking to? Because
Right.
that's probably one of the hardest things. And
And it is. You can't sell sentiment really,
Right.
so that's the hard thing.
I feel like that's your opening line. Just let's lay this out here at the beginning.
Yeah.
I can't sell sentiment. Now let's get into it.
Yeah, and you do. You got to be compassionate about it when you go out and talk to somebody because it is, their world, a loved one's world. It's what they grew up with. It's what mom and dad had. It's what they worked their whole life for. There's just a lot of things and a lot of emotion there that's rolling around. But you have to be sympathetic, but you also have to set the expectation. And I tell them, if it's anything in the family would want. Keep it. And, if you ever decide, well, I really don't need this, and you can always sell it. But once you sell it, most of the time you're not going to get it back. Every now and then there's those fluke occasions that somebody will go find something somewhere and get it bought back.
That's what they make movies about.
Yeah, few and far between. So I usually tell them, if there's anything you're on the fence about, anything that's really special to you, maybe you ought to keep it for a while, kind of let the emotions settle down a little bit, and then maybe you can make a little better decision on it. So
So do you help guide people through that probate process as well?
We work with a lot of attorneys and different things that we can, assist and, try to get information for the courts and different things. We don't cross that legal line,
Sure.
but, if we need to do appraisals or valuations or give somebody an idea what stuff's worth, and, we can turn that into the courts and help with that process, but we're not attorneys.
So let's say somebody had an ill parent, okay, and they knew that time was coming, and they didn't have a will. How much harder is the process if somebody doesn't have a will versus somebody just going ahead and putting together a will?
Extremely. I would advise everybody to, as tough as it is, and a lot of people
No
just
one
don't
likes
even-
talking about it.
Yeah, nobody likes to talk about it, but it will make your loved one's life a lot easier when that time does come, because it can get messy, and unfortunately, people get a little crazy sometimes when something happens, and, well, I didn't know that, and I was supposed to have this, and, it's best to have your wishes laid out if you have a strong preference.
Family members will fight over some shit.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You
And
may
it
have
can
already
get ugly.
you may have already touched on this, but when it comes to the real estate portion of that, so you're going to auction off somebody's house. How is it? Are you responsible for determining kind of the title of that? Meaning, how do you know that there isn't some long lost relative that's going to come out of the woodworks and say, "Wait a minute, you can't auction this house. That's my great long lost grandmother," or something like that?
Well, right. I mean, first of all, it's, you're going to have the deed.
Okay.
You're going to do title work.
Yeah, there you go.
You're going to do different things like that. Obviously, we always ask for any legal paperwork just for our files in case there ever is an issue. So, I mean, you got to be careful. You don't want to, and you got to have a signed contract, and, if they got a POA or if they're the executor or executress, you got to have all that in order, and, do everything you can. I mean, we all know in this crazy world, things pop up, and you
Sure.
just have to work through them. But we try to check everything, do preliminary title work, things like that, to make sure that everything's square.
Now, in that instance, so you're the one selling the house, but you're not a realtor. You don't have a real estate license, correct?
No, I'm our managing broker for our real estate company.
Oh, wow. Is that a requirement of an auction company to have something like that?
No, actually, an auctioneer can sell a piece of real estate.
Really?
But you cannot do the paperwork. You either have to have a realtor, a licensed realtor,
okay.
or you have to have an attorney.
So, like, you would
conduct-
have essentially a listing agent, the one who's responsible for selling the house, potentially, except for your situation. But so they're the ones doing the paperwork, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you can have another licensed real estate agent,
Yeah,
or
okay.
you can have an attorney do the.
So you'd auction it and all done, decide on the price. But because you didn't have your real estate license, you wouldn't be able to write that paperwork. You'd have to have an attorney or a realtor write the paperwork from that point.
I can do it because I am a
But
licensed.
if you didn't?
Yeah, you would have to be. Yeah,
Okay.
you'd have to have a licensed realtor or a attorney.
That makes sense. I didn't know that. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew a lot of the auction people that I know are also realtors, but they don't focus. They focus more on the auction side of it than they
Right.
do the real estate side of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very
So-
interesting to know. I didn't know how that worked.
there you go.
Rather fascinating, I'd say.
No charge.
Do you
Well,
need
wait till
a
you see. Wait till you
realtor?
see the tequila check.
Yeah, I want to sneak out the back door.
Nice.
Fantastic. So, what's the craziest
Oh,
thing
well.
you've ever auctioned off?
Oh my, craziest. I don't know. I mean, we just had a big wedding dress auction.
Yeah.
That was kind of strange and unusual. Hard asset class. We sold about 1,075 wedding dresses.
Wow.
So yeah.
I wish I had known about that. I feel like I
Did
could
you ever
throw
like
one into the mix.
do the bid and then stop and go, honey, you ain't gonna fit in that one?
No, this was online only. This was online only.
Because that would be funny. Like, baby,
Well,
baby, wait a
I
minute.
see your profile picture.
Yeah.
You're not going to fit in that.
There's not enough material to make this one wrap around you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't, you just, I'm trying to think of anything really odd. I mean, most of it's just personal property, equipment, household.
Okay, so have you ever gone into someone's house and they want to auction something off and you're like, that thing is freaking awesome. Like, can I just buy this from you?
Yeah, how much stuff do you have in your own personal barn?
What's your garage look like?
It used to be a lot worse when we had the live auctions because, but it seemed like I was always taking home half a truckload with me because it's just cool stuff. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, I've probably done that a few times, but I mean, we just try to put it up. If it's something we want, we buy it at the auction. We want it to be fair to the seller and, make sure that it brings market price. And,
good for you.
And so, I mean, we don't do a ton of that. I mean, if somebody's just saying, hey, we want, we do buy some estates and not as much as we used to. It's just, unfortunately, just everyday personal property is just down. It's not what it used to be, furniture and things. So.
Go ahead.
Every once in a while, you're driving out to Wilkerson, or heading out to one of these little towns, and you'll see that there's an auction going on, and there's pickup trucks and cars wrapped around. And I don't.
Pickup truck required at an auction?
Hey, easy now.
Hey, there's a lot of farmers out in the country.
I
drive
feel like
pickup
they
trucks.
are.
Right. You got to have it for all your goods out.
Right.
Let me rephrase
I
it.
get it.
There's a lot of vehicles.
You're heading out to Miller's Corner, right? And there's all these Teslas parked around this town
Thank you. Okay.
because they're looking for a charger.
Because they went too far
There's
from
only
home.
one.
Hey, does that welder have a plug-in?
I just need an outlet.
So, I see those in the summertime often, but in the wintertime, I don't see those as often. And do people opt to do that open farm auction in the summertime, but not as much in the wintertime and do more online?
Yeah, well, I mean, I hate to even bring it up, but since COVID, the whole auction world's went a lot more online.
No kidding.
Just in general, yeah. Just people kind of got,
Used to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's easier. I don't want
They
to
can
drive
still
all
go
the
to
way
the
out
ball game. They can still go out to eat. They can, whatever their daily function is, and they can sit there and bid, So to go spend 6 or 8 hours all day or whatever at a live auction is, they still happen, and you still can get a good turnout. It's just a matter of the asset. That's the big thing. I mean, it's hard to get a good turnout for, just everyday household furniture and pots and pans and
I think
things.
it's the farms that are the bigger ones. So those bring a lot of people.
Yeah, and most of those you would probably do live and possibly simulcast, live and online, if you got a bunch of high-end equipment and
Gotcha.
Things like that. But yeah, the barns, the everything, you dig it out, and you still have a lot of those live. So
I've been to those. I think they're so cool.
yeah,
Like it's just so cool to look through all the things and then how people get excited about
Bid 50 cents.
this box of tools and this tractor. And farmers. I love my farmers. Don't get mad at me, farmers. But I'm going to say this anyway. They all will cannibalize themselves. Is that not true? Farmers are like, I always thought that the farmer ran to the other farmer because their barn was on fire and they'd help put it out. Nope.
Yeah.
They went to watch it burn down.
it can be a little cutthroat.
It's a little cutthroat. Yep. I learned that the hard way working with some farmers. I found out that people hated me because I liked that farmer.
Yeah.
But then their farm becomes for sale and they're all there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll give
for
you
sure.
$1 for that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Now, as an auction company, you don't just deal in estates. You do all sorts of auctions, yes?
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything, a lot of commercial, industrial. We do work for a lot of the banks, unfortunately on some repossessions and bankruptcies. And we do, we actually, every week we sell at least one, maybe two auctions a week in just like overstock and big box.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so we
So
do-
where do
Like
people
random boxes and they get whatever's in it. They don't know what's in it.
No, we take pictures. Didn't you check out my website before I came?
No, that's what. Say
Brad
what
didn't
the,
tell me
say
there
what the
was a
website
website.
is. What is the
Yeah.
website?
So, I mean, our actual website's huberauctiongroup.com.
It's right here.
Oh, right there?
Right here. Yeah, right here.
huberauctiongroup.com.
Yeah, it's right there.
And then there's also, if you go just directly to bidhuber.com, it takes you right to our auctions that are online.
And can you sign up to be notified when a new auction starts?
We send out emails. You can
Okay,
join our email list. We send out about 17,000 emails a week.
Woo! So
So-
do you ever get real coined slot machines?
On occasion, we used to see them a lot more than.
Are you looking for
we
one
do
for the
now.
bar or what?
Yeah, I think a real coin slot machine for the bar here
Well, stay
would just
tuned.
be really
I might have
cool.
one coming up because I went and looked at a deal that just might have
Oh,
one. In
baby.
Yeah,
it.
like I have a friend that
Coming
does this
soon.
in Northern Indiana called Ness Brothers. You
Yeah.
ever heard of Ness? So
Actually, I did a little work for them
so
once. I
Andy
think.
Eckert.
Yes.
So Andy's
Yeah.
a realtor that I work with a lot in
Okay.
Huntington. Andy, hope you're watching. And Andy, he's like, dude, you got to bid on this. I got a quarter, a dime, and a nickel.
Yeah.
And what happened? I wanted one really bad, and they were full of cash. Like they didn't know how much cash was
Right.
in them, but they were full of cash. And I bid it up, and like 4 or 5 days, nobody outbid me. And then we were out of town, and the last 20 minutes, I got beaten. I wanted just to win one of them.
Well, you could have done it while you're still out of town.
But I didn't realize that.
He was driving the RV.
I didn't
Okay.
realize the time that it was ended,
Yeah.
and I thought I'd already won them. Timing wise, I was
Right.
so far ahead, and then nope, because
Yeah,
I think
the
that'd be
last,
cool.
the last.
Last 5-10 minutes is probably.
Yeah.
And does it
the time.
extend? Like, let's say the ending time's at 2, but somebody does it then extend a little bit longer and a little longer?
Yeah, the way we usually set up most of ours, unless it's like a piece of real estate or something, those have a little longer extension. But we usually, if somebody bids within the last minute, it adds a minute to that lot.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah,
All right.
so we close them about every 25 seconds. A lot's closing is the way it's set up, and then if somebody bids in that last minute, it'll add a minute.
Speaking of adding a minute, I think right now is the time that we should add a shot.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
You and I
I
are
was
on the
trying to come up with a way to segue into that.
Segway King right
Nailed
here,
it.
am
I'm
I
not sure that was a king segue, but you know what?
pretty damn
We'll
good.
be
at
right
it.
back.
All right.
I'm Brian, your Indianapolis realtor. If you are looking to buy or sell a house in the Indy area, I'm your guy. If you're coming from out of state, want to make a move to the Indy area, I'm your guy. Check out the show notes for a link. We can get in touch and get you started. Thanks for watching. Now back to the show.
And we're back
Whoa, you did good at
with
that.
brown liquid called Woodford Reserve. Double oak, is that what this is?
Double oak. Yes, a
Okay.
double oak.
Well,
This was actually
good
brought
choice,
to
Mark.
us. Brought to us by Alex Smith.
Nice. Cheers.
so it was. That's
Alex
right.
was on the
It's been a
show.
while, but hey, Alex, I'm sure he's watching.
I
Cheers.
think he watches every show.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna say it is.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad at all. So, in
There's the Kentucky hug.
Warm a fella up.
in the auction world, do you like? I don't know, kind of like the antique roadshow. Someone has an antique thing and they need to get it evaluated for what the value could be. Is that something you all do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an actual certified appraiser. I mean, we do a lot of valuations. I mean, I'm not licensed and all for actual appraisals. But I mean, we put numbers on stuff every day,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good folks around town that, Indy, that are actual appraisers that we send folks to, depending on what the asset
So-
is. But we can give them a rough idea. But like if it has to actually go into court or, some
Yeah.
contentious situation, we usually send them to somebody that's licensed.
So my box of baseball cards, I should not bring them to you for that.
We can do some baseball cards, but you can have those like 20 big boxes. Yeah, and you'll probably be disappointed unless they're
Okay.
like in the 70s to mid
No.
80s or
But
earlier.
those from the 80s that at the time were worth a real large sum of money have
Yeah.
dropped significantly.
Okay, so what about
bums
Hot
me.
Wheels?
Hot Wheels, oh yeah, you get your red lines and all. Yeah, there's.
I've heard those are like a big deal.
Yeah,
Hot
and
Wheels,
once again, there's those little
trains.
caveats that some are crazy expensive, and then you might look at another one and it's like, yeah. So it's just a lot of research, and today it's a lot easier because the internet and Google and AI.
Is there like a
and-
Zillow for auctioneers?
No,
Because there's a Zillow for realtors. That's where all the
Right.
information comes from.
That's correct.
I actually had a house come in short on the appraisal, and I told my AMC, look, he had appraised for 2 years ago for a dollar amount, and it came in 25,000 less than that.
Woo!
And then he told me what Zillow was, which was even less. And I said, oh, I can use Zillow now? And there was a SFU.
Okay.
That was you do the math. You
Yeah.
Google that, but I got that, and I was like, oh, okay. I was just checking because you brought it up. I
I
didn't.
think you're missing the T.
That's a new rule. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
STFU.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
ST.
Either way.
No, I think he just said. I think he skipped it too.
Well, we know what he meant.
He was
He
so
was angry.
flustered.
He was flustered,
For sure.
and I'm so good with
Initials,
Language.
acronyms. Yeah, any of that. So you mentioned research, and I would assume your company's pretty large. Like, how many employees y'all got?
We
I
got
use y'all a lot lately. I don't understand
yeah,
why I'm
I
doing
just
this.
rub off on people
You
like
do,
that. I
but I've been
guess.
saying it for
I mean,
several
he-
days. I don't know why.
He does have this great like country western
does.
voice that makes you just want to say, "Hey man, how y'all doing today?"
Yeah, that's a
I
good
get
point. I'm
like,
sorry.
You from Kentucky or Tennessee is what I usually
Yeah,
get.
say,
I'm
I'm from
Oh, they're playing-
Indianapolis.
Fountain Town.
Indianapolis.
It's a basketball match here in Indy.
So yeah, I've got. I mean, we've got 3 full-time employees, and then we got a part-time office manager, myself. I mean, my wife helps a lot. My daughter. So, and then we, do some subcontract work with other folks if we need extra
Okay.
help. But that's about it.
Now, if I had to guess, I'd say the answer is going to be every situation is different. But someone comes to you, says we have this estate, we need to auction this stuff off, including the house, but we need it done quickly. In your world, what is reasonably quick?
Well, I mean, we can do stuff pretty quick. It's just a matter of,
Is
expectation.
there a number of
and-
days on reasonably
Well,
quick?
Well, if you're doing real estate, that
Okay, so
that's
let's
the hard
say,
part.
let's say
with
all
it.
the legal stuff is handled.
Right.
Right. So that's all done. I'm the
the
executor.
will,
They're
yeah.
Everything's handled.
Yeah.
I need this stuff auctioned off. When can we get you here to auction this
I
off?
mean, if you're selling real estate, I mean, I think realistically you need about 30 days because you
Wow.
got to get your marketing and
Yeah.
you
Okay.
got to advertise. You got to
Okay.
pictures, videos, drones. I
Is
mean,
that the same for the estate side of it too, of all the stuff? Because you got to gather all. I guess
Got a
you got
lot
to
of
gather the
stuff.
pictures of all the stuff
Yeah.
and go through all
And
this
once
stuff.
Research pricing.
yeah, and that can be a little bit, different if we're doing it because we do a lot of just like online auctions at the residence because maybe, labor eats folks up these days. So we try to, if we can do it at the house,
Yeah.
we'll do it there and then take our pictures, put it online, and then just the buyers come and pick up on an advertised time frame, and we're there to manage it and help them
Okay.
pick up and all. So, but yeah, I mean, it takes, and it just depends on the size of the house, but we can get through most houses unless you get into like a hoarder situation
Yeah,
or
man.
something. But
I can
but
only
you-
imagine.
We
the
got some
hoarding
Time
situation.
magazines from
Right,
1962
Right.
and about.
But most places we can go in and catalog and picture and everything, stage, group, all that in 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
And then usually, like for a personal property auction, we want it to be online for about 12 to 14 days.
Okay.
It's kind
Okay.
of our target. And so you can use our advertising and, bidders can get registered and they can call with questions or email or whatever. So, and then we close it and then usually we wait about a day or so, then we do the pickup. So, everything's probably in that, 30-ish day completion from the time we start.
Okay. And how does pricing work for you? Or is it a flat fee based on stuff? Is it
I
a
was going to
percentage?
ask, how do you get paid?
Yeah.
Ooh, well, most of our stuff's commission based.
Okay.
I mean, usually we work on commission. Sometimes, once again, if you get into an extreme situation where it is a hoarder house or something, and you got to provide, a lot more labor. Sometimes we add a little bit of labor to it, and it can be a flat rate. It can be by the hour, just kind of whatever's negotiated in the contract. But
Okay.
primarily we're commission based.
Do you see a lot of the hoarder situation?
I don't know if I'd say a lot, but yeah, there's a handful.
All right. So we're going there.
We might need
you've-
another shot.
You've walked.
We might need a gallon.
You walked into a house, and it's a hoarder situation, and you have found. Holy shit! I can't believe what I just. What is your story?
Actually, one of the other
No
auctioneers-
names, addresses.
Yeah. one of our auctioneers actually just went to Indianapolis and picked one up. And I mean, yeah, there's just some really cool Asian pieces where it'll be coming to sale here probably in the next month. We got it in the building now. We're just starting to go through it. So, but some real cool wood carvings. They're probably about 6 foot tall.
Do you need that here in the
Yeah,
shed?
so it's
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe
I'll make sure and send you the link.
There's any ladies that might look cool.
I'm gonna get some of his money here
Heck
soon.
yeah.
I can feel it coming.
Something looks
But
cool. You got any palm trees?
but yeah, maybe.
Guitars.
But so yeah, I mean,
Anything?
know,
Okay,
that's
I mean
probably-
that's cool stuff. What about like, oh my God, this is
Wow, how am I going to fit that
this
in a dumpster?
Yeah, I got 3 dead dogs over here in the corner. I mean, anything just outlandish?
I mean, yeah, you always have the mice and the bats
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
Fecal matter.
yeah. I was gonna say thank you. There you go. I was gonna say the pet
Wow,
the pet pads that you got to kind of
gross.
walk around like a
Well, the
Lily
litter box
pad.
was supposed to be changed.
yeah. It's probably one of the. I actually went and I might have had my auction. I think I had my auction license, but I was just getting started. But I was working for another company, and we were down by Bogstown, and it was a really cool old house, and it was kind of like I forget what they called it. The very very top. It was like the I don't know, the brides or something, because there was a little hatch that went out. I can't remember what it was called now. Something's nest, but they had, man, they were a bunch of cool old toys and just old like comic books and just different, like when these kids were young. But the sad part is the bats had just had their way with it. It was just all, but
Guano everywhere.
Yes, yeah. So,
What'd you call it?
Guano.
Yeah,
Is that bat poopy?
yeah.
Yes, I learned that from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective 2.
2.
Really? Can you make any of his facial expressions in that one?
No, best I can do is like raise an eyebrow. So
Yeah. But
So
yeah.
let's say somebody has some things that they think, like old Tonka trucks or old stuff that they don't really know if it's worth anything.
Right.
Do they call you and say, "Hey, I have this stuff. I don't know if I should throw it away or if it's worth
Yeah.
something." Is that something you'd look at?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times nowadays we'll just say, "Hey, can you text us a picture or two?" And then if that doesn't do it, then hey, can we come out and take a look? But yeah, and we try to do a lot of that. If somebody's got some questions, they can either shoot a little video.
man, I'm gonna have my dad taking pictures of stuff at the
Yeah.
house now.
Yeah, you're
There
Sending
you
it
go.
to you, Mark.
blowing
Hey,
up.
I can do it. But
Because
but yeah.
when you get your kids to leave the house,
Right.
okay, I'm going to speak from experience. My kids left the house, but my kids' stuff didn't leave the house.
It's funny how that happens.
So Blake, my son Blake, when Blake left, he was out, and within, I'm going to say 45 minutes, Tony had turned that room into a sauna room and her room, and his stuff was then pushed into this closet,
Yeah.
and then there was a message sent out saying, "You have this many days to get your stuff out of the closet," and he did it.
Wow, Tony is hardcore.
Yeah.
Hey.
So then he called me one day and he said, "Hey, Dad, looking for an old laptop or a hard drive. We believe the 4 Bitcoin that we mined back in high school is on this hard drive or this laptop."
Oh my!
I said, "I haven't seen it."
Yeah.
And
Tony, where'd you put that laptop?
unfortunately, I haven't seen it.
Ah, bugger.
But when your kids leave behind all these things, there's a sentimental value to
Right.
them. The kids don't want them, but like old Barbie dolls, old toys. Is there
Yeah.
value in that stuff?
Yeah. Some of the old Barbie stuff. Once again, age and condition's the big thing. I mean, like the ball cards and the Barbies. I mean, you get back in the '60s and '70s, and
My kids aren't that old.
Yeah, right. But you get in. I mean, some of the early to mid
Brad's
'80s
Barbies from when he was a kid.
Yeah,
They don't have any
But,
heads left on them.
pulled the hair out. But yeah, I mean, they have value, and some of the clothes have a lot of value, and it just boils down to a lot of condition and age, and when it comes to kind of the collectible type stuff, typically.
I threw away all of the old metal Tonka trucks, dozers, and
Yeah.
I had all of those even from back when I was a kid, and I
Right.
got tired of them around. I threw them away, and somebody said, "You dumbass! Like some of those, if they're in great shape, are worth, I guess, pretty good money."
Yeah, I mean, if
To
they're in
the-
really
to a
good
buyer
shape,
who wants
yeah,
them.
yeah.
To a certain extent, that's why hoarder houses exist.
Right.
Right.
We have
Yeah.
so many people have gotten into I need to hold on to this because it may have value someday, and it just keeps piling
It
up.
does.
Oh, I seen a post yesterday. It was breaking news. A man who had saved a 2x4 for 37 years finally used it.
You're on
Right.
fire today,
I
bro.
knew I'd need that.
That's a good one, isn't it? Oh, shit. Well, Mark,
So-
I appreciate you taking your time out. So, social media, do you have social media for people to check
we're
out?
on Facebook, Huber Auction Group. And,
Instagram?
yeah, it's I forget. I'm not good at Instagram. I think
Ti-
it might be Huber Sales.
Huber.
Yeah, that's
Tick-
Huber something.
TikTok?
No time.
What about Lemon? Are you on Lemon?
Lemon.
You
I'm
doing
very
any
Lemonade.
threads?
Lemonade.
Lemonade, yeah.
Yeah,
Threads. No.
Facebook. Like I said, if you want to join our email group, we're happy to put you on that.
Oh, wait. There it is. Right
There it is. Right
Here it is right here.
on the ticker
All of the
across
info.
there.
Did you see it?
Right. HuberAuctionGroup.com.
Brad thinks this shit just
BedHuber.com.
happens by magic.
No, I don't. I do it too.
But yeah, and if we got our building there in Greenfield, so if anybody needs anything, they can holler. Got
Do you have your final question?
Is this like
Don't
the?
know what. I mean, I have
exam or-
one for my tasting tequila with Brad, but
We've asked a few guests a question,
remind me because I guess I don't know.
and you have a drink with somebody.
Yeah, I do that. Okay, so you want me to do it?
Let's go.
Okay, so on my tasting tequila with Brad, I do this all the time with these brand owners that bring this out. So if you could sit down and have a drink, any drink that you like, whatever your go-to drink is, I think it's tequila because that's what you said. Yeah, so if you could sit down and have a tequila with anybody in the world, past, present, current, family, famous, friend, foe, who would you want to sit down and have a drink with?
Man, that's a tough question.
If you'd watched our show, you knew this question was coming.
And here's the thing: I participate and wasn't sure what Brian was talking about.
So I guess you gotta wait till the end. Of
We-
it. I
we
watched
didn't
the
ask our
beginning a
last
little bit,
guest,
but I never
so-
made it past the
Yeah,
last.
we
It's a
didn't- we
crapshoot
didn't
here.
ask
We
the
didn't
last
ask.
guy,
Yeah. Oh well.
I do it to talk to people who have created a brand, and
Yeah.
this story here was amazing because he had lost his mom, and when we talked through it, he said, "I did everything I did because of his mom," and he made me tear up as he talked about it. Right.
Right.
So sometimes it's very sentimental of who
Yeah.
you would want to share with. But I had one person say Hemingway; they'd want to sit down with Hemingway. So
Yeah.
really, truly,
See, it's- yeah.
anybody that you'd want to sit down and have a drink with and go ask him any question that you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, probably off the cuff now, being the age I am and everything. I mean, I'd probably like to sit back down with my grandpa with the world experiences I've had, and just
Yeah.
his experience, and it'd be interesting in today's times to sit down and
Number one answer, grandparent.
yeah,
Because if you think you always idolized your grandparent,
Yeah.
right? I idolized my grandpa, and he died when he was 54 years old, and like I did everything with that man. And today I would love to sit down and ask him questions.
yeah,
You know?
knowing what you know now,
Yeah.
and,
I was
that's what I
8
think
when he
it'd be.
died, or 9.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great answer.
right.
Brian, who would
Nope.
you
Nope.
be?
This
Oh,
is our
what?
guest.
You-
Oh,
You're not going to
You
answer
don't
the
e-
question. You don't have nobody.
come on, you put me on the spot.
I
I
know,
gave you
I
mine.
know,
I
Right.
agreed with grandpa.
Well, see, now you thrown out grandparent, and yeah, I mean that's a great answer.
He's a Frank Sinatra.
Jake Query had a great answer, which was Jesus Christ, which is a pretty
no, that's
good.
that's a
but
crazy answer too. Yeah,
I-
that's a good one.
to me, that particular answer is like somewhat obvious to those like myself who are Catholic. Like, okay, that seems to be really logical person, but I guess I don't really think in terms like that. I'm maybe more celebrity focused. Not that Jesus wouldn't be a celebrity, but I did have a pretty decent relationship with my grandfather. But I don't know that I would choose my grandfather.
It's
So
okay. He ain't mad at you.
I know.
He's
I know.
like, pick Elvis, dude.
Right.
Maybe a little more celebrity related. I'd want to do somebody like a Michael Jordan. I think it'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Would be.
He's got quite a story, and people like that who are still alive and super famous, of course. It's like I want to sit down with them and hear the real story, not the shit that they tell on
No doubt.
on
really
interviews.
happened.
Yeah,
Right.
like really?
much
Did you and
really
Scottie
like
Pippen
Scottie
really
Pippen?
get along?
That's what I was going to say. How much
Was
did
Dennis
you really
Rodman
like
the
Scottie
biggest
Pippen?
jackass you've ever played with?
And I've heard the opposite. I heard that it's Pippen.
Post basketball life, Pippen is a little crazy.
I don't want to get sued, but I'm going to tell you the story. A
All
friend of
right.
mine, we started a mortgage company together called PM Mortgage Corp. It was a non-conforming lending company out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, around the Schaumburg line. And Mark Armstrong was one of our partners. And Mark, before that, came from a Abco Financial, like people that did 90 days same as cash and all these really crazy loans.
Yeah.
And he had to go to the stadium and repossess Scottie Pippen's fur coat,
No.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
a full-on man fur,
Man.
because he never paid the bill.
No, can you sneak in the locker room to get
No,
that? Or
like
you just
he
walk
had,
up and say,
he had
Mr.
a
Pippen,
cop,
I'm going to
he
need
had
your
a
jacket.
cop walk him in, and then security escorted him in, and then there's like a whole.
Can we wait till the game starts? He won't be here. in the
No,
room.
there was a whole confrontation, and Mark was a little bit shorter than I am and a little more rotund than I used to be.
Scotty's 6'8".
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scotty's
yeah.
like gonna dribble him,
Yeah.
Oh,
but he
dang.
left with his fur coat.
All right.
That's fantastic.
You know what's
isn't
funny
it?
is you and I do all of the episodes, and we may continue to ask this to our guests. I could just continue and have a different person each
Every time.
Right.
So this week it's Michael Jordan. There
Right.
you go.
That's
Well,
fantastic.
Mark, thanks for coming
Yes,
on.
sir. Thank you,
This
gentlemen.
was very
Thanks for
enlightening.
answering the Facebook ad. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's where Mark
Awesome.
answered on the Facebook,
Even
and I was
better.
like, dude, why didn't I not ask him going in?
Yeah.
This was a great segment. I
Yeah,
appreciate your
thank
time.
you, guys. Appreciate
And
it.
to you out there, thanks for watching Real Estate Makes Us Drink. Subscribe, leave a comment, and share. We always appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Move to Indy
Move me to Indy.
Move
Why
me
you do this
to
at the
Indy.
end? I'm about to wrap this shit up.
because I want you to remember.
People have already clicked off the
No, they
episode.
haven't.
Huber.com. Oh,
I want you to remember to put your plug on there of where to follow you and where to follow me, and
Right.
there should be like video end cards playing right now anyway, right?
You can
This
put that
gives
on
us
the
time to
ticker.
talk about the
You can
end
put
cards,
that ticker when you get it up
so
there.
you can click on this show or that show and watch it. It's pretty fun. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.